Hello and welcome. This is another video. The last video was about weather modification, manipulation of weather, making storms, making burnings in Western Australia and so on, moving the air with this HARP technology. Last time I forgot to say what HARP means. It is a high frequency active auroral research program. So auroral means they want to see the lights, the polar lights, this gluing in the sky, green or blue gluing. This is what they say, but the real purpose it's another. There's a grid of these antennas. I think there are maybe 10 or 12 antennas worldwide, like in Alaska, and they all working together, making this air shifts, this movement of airs. The topic today is more the immune system. It is interesting now, the coronavirus. I found a film in the internet. There's somebody who claims that there's no coronavirus at all. It's all this 5G, because in this town, Wuhan in China, there's a 5G grid, and the symptoms are similar to this 60 gigahertz radiation. It's a microwave frequency of 60 gigahertz that crashes the oxygen in our body. So, and the symptoms are if you get a radiation of a microwave 60 gigahertz. Well, I show you. This is a spectrum, electromagnetic wave. Of course, there's no sign if it is scalar or it's not scalar, but okay, as I said in other videos, there's every time scalar wave, every electromagnetic wave has it. You can enforce the scalar wave inside this electromagnetic wave. You can build a stronger scalar wave which is magnetic, attracted to magnets. Well, this is maybe 2.45 gigahertz is making the water moving, so you can heat something. And if you have 60 gigahertz, it moves the oxygen. There are always two atoms, so it's O2. And if you send a 60 gigahertz, they crashing in two parts, so, and your body can't use it anymore so good. I can confirm this because they give me such a frequency in my apartment, and sometimes it's uneasy for me to breathe. I feel a lack of oxygen, and also my skin of the hand is turning blue. It's no joke, they do it. And so then I must go outside, and I run 2 times a week, that my lung is it is important for me to run, that this oxygen transport works. The symptoms, there's a film I will also load up. In Wuhan they see people, they fall forward, they have not enough oxygen, and it's similar to this symptom of 60 gigahertz radiation. Well, there's one guy, he says there's no coronavirus at all. Another film, they say, well, there are 2 laboratories in Wuhan, and one laboratory, the owner is Soros. Well, maybe you hear this name. This man is Freemason, and he's involved in this um, genocide treaty or in this depopulation program. Well, I think maybe there's a virus, uh, but if you have a good immune system, it can't harm you. The real harm is that they can weak your immune system with radiation, especially with 60 gigahertz, also other radiation. And I go in this with Tom Bearden again. Last week I showed a picture of him, Tom Bearden website. He's a physics from United States, still living, and he made this very good book, Gravity Biology. I explained in my other movies, films. Well, there's on his website there's one topic, the Gulf War disease. I show it. Well, Tom Burden says that was an experiment from KGB, from the Russian Secret Service, and they choose a person to weak or to suppress their immune system, and the symptoms are quite similar to this corona virus symptoms. Well, I think that is true, that the virus itself, if it is existing or not, is not so harmful, and the most harm comes from this 5G radiation, because 5G is exactly the frequency of 60 gigahertz, when the oxygen in your body crashes and you don't have enough oxygen if you are exposed to this radiation. Well, I just read it for you, the Gulf War disease. It is a short notice, maybe 3 sides. I read the most important sentences for you, and you will see that these symptoms were occurred to this Gulf War veterans, to this US soldiers, to these GIs, but not to the native population. The Iraqi soldiers were not concerned to these symptoms. Well, I just read it for you. KGB test of closely controlled immune system spreading by QP weapon with cocktail mix and shadow state. Well, QP means quantum potential. As I said in other videos, the quantum potential is inside an electromagnetic wave, in a scalar wave. There are vacuum channels, and you can send quantums. The most quantum everybody knows is light quantum. Well, a piece of light piece is a quantum. We can see them if they are sent it in frequency of visual light. It's about here, and this other waves, 60 gigahertz, is very below visual light. It is microwaves has a bigger wavelength and lower frequency, and light has a higher frequency and a shorter length of wave. Well, so going on. So this quantum potential can be light in the frequency of visual light. It can be below, can be above. Our body cells communicating with in a ultraviolet range. So this torture weapons, they are sending signals right in the frequency of our body cells, and well, it is not said which frequency they used in this Gulf War. It is only said, well, there's a quantum potential weapon, and they send a cocktail mix in shadow state, so that means very slight state that you can't distinguish, is it a real fluency or is it from outside, and this is very tricky. You get sick and you can't say, is it by nature or is it artificially made? Okay, going on. There were ABC troops, American, British and Canadians, were given harsh inoculation mix. French and native populace were not. So the Iraqis and the French ABC troop not. ABC immune systems were temporarily depressed for some months, but not the French or the native populace. Shadow state effects in inoculation lowered ABC troop immune systems much more pronounced than in French and natives. Russians thus could lower shadow state quantum potential cocktail mix necessary to produce a reactionable effect. Would still affect ABC troops' immune systems, would not affect French and native immune systems. Lowered ABC immune system still form statistical distribution. For further lowered magnitude of shadow state cocktail mix, so only a percentage of ABC immune system would be permanently affected. With 45 years, in brackets, 9 generations of weaponization, so this means the scalar wave technology from Russia, only the Russian had it, the American had not. They had no clue. This whole scalar technology were given to the Soviet Union and they developed it. So with 45 years, 9 generations of weaponization experience in disease induction, this was simple for Russian bioenergetics scientists. Well, I give you short explanation, not too long. If you have the right scalar wave, you can suppress immune system. For example, here's a picture of a poor chick. This poor chick is above, it's a healthy chick, and if you have the special radiation scalar wave, you can lower the potassium level and the calcium level with a special scalar wave, so the chick becomes sick because the immune system of this chick is not working anymore. And sometimes I feel also like this chick, sorry. Well, what can you do? Eat fruits, vegetables, move yourself, go running, and if you feel sick in the morning, I can say if you run, it goes away because all your bloodstream is working and your immune system comes strong again. So moving is very important. And of course, I take also potassium and calcium, small doses in the morning. I take also iron, which is good against the radiation. Well, there's one guy, he said also iron is important against 5G radiation. The Fullerton Informer, he made a lot of films about 5G. He's from LA. Maybe you like to hear him. It's your mother language. He has not this horrible German accent like me. Well, okay, this is also from Tom Bierden, and so you can weak immune system by special quantum potential mix. It is not said that this scalar waves inside have special viruses. Well, in the past I said so, I'm not sure anymore. You don't have to put viruses into scalar wave into vacuum channels. If you can weak the immune system with special scalar wave frequencies or information fields, always think about the field of information, gravitons, quantums, light quantums. So this electrons, of course, all this together is an information field. We have our own information field. If they catch your DNA, they can take your body frequency by these machines, where they give just your neighbor maybe $1,000 and he do it. Well, it's a good money and nobody can prove that I'm guilty, so he does it. And this machine picks up your body frequency, and then they can send you some frequency that weaks or suppress your immune system. It is sad. Well, I'm still strong, so but maybe in 10 years I'm not so strong anymore. Well, maybe my time will come then. But in this moment, well, God hold His hand above me. So I hope I can do some more films the next years, or I don't know how long, but I certainly do. Well, going on with this text, the Gulf War disease, the Gulf War disease, side 2. Well, a percentage of ABC troopers' immune systems were spread and disabled. Opportunistic diseases such as mycoplasma did the rest. Well, what mycoplasma is the stuff inside the cell, inside the body cell. This mycoplasma is not bad itself, but maybe they influence this mycoplasma, so they can also send frequencies that your body cells produce wrong acids. You know, we have all these acids, and there are 3 acids that build together a protein, and there's another, I think it was glucose, I don't know, no, glycol, I'm not sure, but every protein has 3 acid, and our body produce by our body produce it, but if you have a right frequency, you can bring a body of a man or woman that it produce a wrong acid. Your body can't change it into protein. It's all possible with this biotechnology, scalar wave technology, and the Russian, they have possibilities we can't dream. We can't dream. They had 45 years time, and in the Western world nobody knew it. Going on with this text. Opportunistic diseases such as mycoplasma did the rest. Gulf War disease, thus, is a cocktail mix of real opportunistic diseases, which several, such as mycoplasma, being prominent. French and native were unaffected. A deliberate probe, so Russians could see if US understood quantum potential weapons and immune system spreading, they didn't. Quantum potential exposure also charged the veterans' bodies, which the cocktail mix engines. Exchange of body fluids or sometimes prolonged exposure to presence of body emanations could later induce symptoms and diseases in some wives and children. So when the veterans came back, well, they also, it was also possible that their wives and their children get this disease. So this is the last page, and then I will finish. It's a short video. Well, indications of testing immune system spreading. Subsequently, immune system spreading was tested in entire US very carefully and at low level. So not only in Iraq during the Gulf War, it was also tested in the whole United States of America. It was such a low level that the people don't realize that it was a bioweapon. Maybe it's still. Well, it can be that it is still, and so it is possible with this cell phone tower grid, and of course with this 5G there are much more chances to do this. Various diseases such as necrotizing fasciitis used. Fasciitis used. I'm sorry, I hold it. I can't read it so good. The second top. Well, signature is absence of disease vector path record, but simultaneous statistical distribution of cases appearing throughout entire US. Again, a probe to see if NIH, I'm sorry, I don't know what it is, and the US had their heads out of the sand. They didn't and they don't. Some diseases, such as mad cow disease in Canada and Europe, which was especially in the UK and England, almost certainly have KJB steering and augmentation effects. Well, that's it. I think I will put this below, or I give you the link so you can read it by your own. I know my English pronouncing is not very good. Well, to summarize, it is quite possible that this coronavirus is just a campaign to take our freedom, to set this dictatorship government now over us, that we lose our freedom, and this coronavirus maybe it's not so dangerous as they told us. It is possible that this symptoms, this disease, you see, it can be theater, it can be because of this 60 gigahertz radiation from cell phone towers, from 5G towers. Well, we don't know, but I know I don't have fear about this coronavirus because I know it is a show. It's a big show. From Monday on, all schools in Germany are closed. These poor little children must stay at home. No school anymore. I think they do it 2 weeks, and this is really well. This is really a new stage of war. They want to show us that freedom is over now, and it's a show. It's a theater. This coronavirus. Well, it is, in my opinion, it's not. Maybe there's a coronavirus, but it's not so bad as a normal influenza. And I will load up a film, and this man says, if you get a vaccine, then you got a real disease, because they put this disease in this vaccine. They say it is against this disease, but in fact it will harm you. So don't get any vaccine um, in order to fight this corona virus. It is quite the opposite. Well, that's it for today. See you next video.